Hello, I welcome you all to this lecture. In last lecture, we have seen the rigid body transformation, just the introduction, how to predict the uh, end effector location, position, and the orientation. To know the location and orientation, we need to know the position of a body and the orientation of body that can be done, that can be achieved with the help of the matrices, that is the transformation matrix. The transformation metrics are rotation and the translation. So once we know the rotation and translation of a point or a body in some other frame with respect to some frame called A, so we can know the position in any frame just with the help of the rotation and the translation metrics that we have seen till now. In today's lecture, we are going to see forward kinematics. That means the finding out the location, the position and the orientation of the end effector in terms of the joint angle, in terms of the joint angles. So let us begin. First, what is forward kinematics? Forward kinematics is method in which we determine the location, or in other words, we can say the orientation and the position of the robot's hand. The robot's hands is nothing but the end effector. It can be as simple as mechanical fingers, a mechanical gripper, or it can be as complicated as a tool. It can be a welding tool, a welding gun, it can be a spray painting gun, or it can be some other kind of tool that can be used for the any manufacturing process. That is that that's what we do in the forward kinematics. In modeling of a forward kinematics, find out the location of the end effector, the position and the orientation of end effector given the position and the orientation of the joints. So when we design the robot, we predict the trajectory, which path it is going to follow. To predict this trajectory and the path, we need to know the position and orientation of the all the joints and the end effector given the angles. When we give certain degree of angle, which position it is going to reach. So that is what we need for proper functioning of a robot. So that's what we do in the forward kinematics. The joints and joint variables, we can call it joint variables, or you can call it the joint angle. These are represented with the help of a vector consist of different joint angles. For each joint, we define one angle, theta 1, theta 2, up to theta n. It depends on the number of degree of freedom they are having. And one more thing is we affix a frame to the parts. So we have number of joints, we affix different frame to the different joints. So here you can see robot, a typical 3 degree of robot, 3 degree of freedom robot. And the base link, we call it a zero link. The base link is defined as zero link. The other links, then the sequence, the link 1, link 2, link 3, likewise. And we have number of joints here connecting different links. The joint will provide the different motions that we have already seen, right? So what we need here is the position of this tool. Position of this tool, a coordinate frame is attached to the tool, and one frame is attached at the base. The other frames are attached with the joint, different joints, and we find out the position of this tool in the reference frame, in the frame that is attached at the base. To find out the position of this frame with respect to this frame, the frame that is attached at the base, we need the transformation matrices. So that will be a rotation or the translation. Okay. Next is here there is a different configuration. We have can have different configuration of the robot and the frame is attached. Okay, right here. this is our frame n, the three coordinates n, a, o, just like xyz axis, you can call it xyz or whatever uh, you prefer. And there is a base frame here, that is a xyz frame, and xyz, that is the base frame. And we want to know this position, this tool is in this frame, we want to know in with respect to this frame. So just we need, what we need is just this matrix that will give us the position, xyz position. So that is defined with the help of this matrix. Another example is here, we have a one more example here. So we have two translation and one rotation. To get to this, just let me we let me go to the better example here. So our for this example, consider this example, the base frame here is x0 y0, and in this frame want to know the we want to know the position of end of the robotic arm. This point at the end of their arm, we want to know the position of this arm, right? Approach is General approach is just attach the different coordinate system. Here we have base coordinate system x0 y0. Then we have attached the second coordinate system x1 y1, aligned with the x-axis, aligned with the length, and y-axis perpendicular to it. The another frame is attached again to the second link. The x is again aligned to the uh, link number 2, and y-axis again perpendicular. Third is aligned to the x3, the link number 3, and y3 is perpendicular. And the joint variables or the joint angles are theta 1 from the base. This is the angle from the base. The link 1 angle, link 2 is theta 2, and link 3 is theta 3. If you want to know the position in this frame x0 y0, what we need is the rotation matrix and the translation matrix. So those all matrices will calculate and will multiply those matrices to finally know the position and orientation of the given points or the given object in the base frame. So that is our intention in this forward kinematics. So the best method to do this kind of calculation is dynamic Hardenberg method. This method is a very popular method. In this method, let us go to this method. This is simple. We attach the different coordinates that we have already seen. We call it zero link at the base, then 1, 2, 3, right? Okay. So this here is, let us start with the link description. How we define a link. So a link is a rigid body, and we need different parameters. So for design purpose, there are different parameters uh, that designer had to consider before designing a link. The type of material used, strength, stiffness of the link, location, type of joint bearings, shape, weight, inertia, etc. Right? But in case of kinematics, when we deal with the kinematics, the only thing we need to consider is the relation between the neighboring joint axis of a manipulator. Relation between two links, two joint of the manipulator. So that what we need for kinematic analysis. So consider this link. This is a link, a twisted link. It is not straight link. So whenever we do the analysis, we consider the general most case. So when we have simplest link, from general case we delete whatever is not needed, and we can get back to the general case. But however, we need to consider the general case. So here in general case, we consider that our link is twisted. Here this is the link, and link has two joints, 2 points. At 2 points it can be connected, right? Because it has to be connected at the other links, the next link. So this link will be connected to the link this previous link, this link that will be on this side, right? That will be here on this side, and another link will be here, right? So this link will be connected to the other two links, and that also will have 2 points. And so the link generally has it is a rigid body, and it has two connecting points, right? For motion, to give the motion we need two connecting points, right? So there are two parameters that describe the links. One is link length, another is link twist. The link length is nothing but this length. The link length is nothing but the length. This length is called link length, and twist is this angle. This link is twisted. So suppose you have something twisted, right? When you strengthen it, when you make it straight, so whatever twist was given, that is the twist. That is the angle. So that we call it link twist. And the link length is you have bent something, uh, some part is there that is already bent, but you want to measure the actual length, you make it straight and you measure the length. So that is how we do the measurement. In this case, how we define it is, so we call it, there are two axes here, we call it this x I minus 1, this axis I, and the link length is given as I minus 1. The joint, from the joint, this joint I minus 1. So this axis is about axis of the rotation. So when we extend these two axes and create a line, that will be a common perpendicular. So when we draw a line, and that will be common perpendicular to these two axes. So it should be perpendicular to both. There may be number of perpendicular to each axis, but this axis should be perpendicular to both axes, and that will give you the link length. So that is called link length. The other thing is that is called link twist is you draw perpendicular, you draw two axes, this axis, this another axis, and when you turn the one axis, turn this axis I minus 1, and so that both the axes become parallel. So whatever turning we are providing, the twist we are providing to make these two axes parallel, that is called link twist. That is the definition here. So these two things, one is the link length, that is denoted by ei minus 1 for link number I minus 1, and alpha I minus 1 is the link twist. So these two are called link parameters. And one more thing we need to define the connection between two links is called link connection description. That is called di and theta. So one is called link offset and the other one is called joint angle. So let us see about these things, the definition of these things. So here, for investigation of kinematics, we need two quantities that we already discussed, that will define the connection entirely. Right? These two things are this one, these two things are link offset and the joint angle. Right? So here, the Dennard-Hartenberg notation. What we do is we provide the notation for each link. At certain notation for each link, we assign a coordinate system. We assign a frame to the links, to the joint, particular joint. We assign a frame, and we call it I, and the previous one will be called I minus 1. The parameters are A, alpha, theta, and D and theta. These are called DH parameters. These parameters are link length, AI minus 1, that is called link length. So this link length is perpendicular between joint axes. So these two are joint axes. This axis that is drawn perpendicularly to the joint. So this is the direction of rotation perpendicular to that axis. That axis is perpendicular to the motion at the joint. And here there is one more axis. When we draw a common perpendicular to these, that is called AI minus 1. That is called link length. Right? The next thing is alpha I minus 1. So again, when we turn the link so that both become parallel, joint axis become parallel. This is called joint axis. So both the joint axis become parallel. That is called the twist. That the link twist. The other two parameters are di minus 1 and the theta I. Di minus 1 is called link offset. So di minus 1 is we attach coordinate system. So this x is attached to the ai minus 1. Xi minus 1 is attached to ai minus 1. Zi is to joint axis and yi minus 1 is perpendicular to both. Now, when you try to align di means this xi and extend xi beyond this axis. Extend here, xi we have extended here, and this xi minus we have 1 we have extended, but this xi, what this one, this link, this I minus 1 link, and there is one more link that is called I link. Right? So this I axis and this I minus 1 joint axis. Right? So when you measure the distance between offset distance between these two link, that is called link offset. So the displacement along the zi axis needed to align ei minus 1 common perpendicular to ai common perpendicular. So this is the it is in along the z axis. This one is along the z axis. The other one is theta I, that is the amount of rotation around the z axis. So that is around the z axis needed to align xi and xi axis, xi minus 1 or xi axis. So that is called joint axis, joint angle. We align different frames for the this this link. We align two frames. One is at this point, one is at this point, and we find out the different parameters. We can do it and find out the parameters. This is called Reynolds-Hartenberg matrix. Here, the important thing is here is to find out this matrix. It's called Reynolds-Hartenberg matrix, and it has four parameters: alpha I minus 1, ai minus 1, di, and theta I. So let us take an example to understand how it works. This is the three link manipulator, 2 degree of freedom. It says this one, 3 degree of freedom actually. Theta 1, theta 2, and theta 3. Right? We align three coordinate system. This x0, y0 at usual directions x0, y0 at horizontal, perpendicular, horizontal and vertical. The next is align the x1, y1, the second coordinate system with the in alignment with the link number 1. X1 will be in alignment with the link number 1, and y1 will be perpendicular to x1. Then again x2, y2 with alignment in alignment with link number 2. Again x3, y3 at link number 3, at the joint number 3. Sorry, at the joint number 3. Now I is 1 to 3. We have three frames here. I 1 to 3. Right? Alpha I minus 1. What is alpha I minus 1? When you see here, alpha I minus 1 is C here. So there is the twist of the joint axis. So we have three axes here. There is one axis here, and there are two coordinate system here. See here, you can see here. There are two coordinate system, x0, y0, and one more coordinate system that is aligned at the same origin, but it has some angle. Right? So that is x1 and y1. Right? you draw a perpendicular, so this axis, this is the joint here. So here everything is rotating about this joint. Right? We have rotation about this joint. There is no other motion. Only motion is rotation about this joint. Right? So when you rotate this, so when you consider these two axes, when you pass the axis from these two joints, there is only one axis, and that too both are there is only one axis. So there is no case about the, because both are at same location. Both are at same location. If these both things are same location, ai minus 1 should be 0. Right? The next thing is alpha I minus 1. Sorry, this is alpha I minus 1. We are talking about ai minus 1. So ai minus 1 is 0. Alpha I minus 1. What is alpha I minus 1? When both axes have some angle. But here in this case, there is no angle because both axes are parallel. When you see in third direction, so we are seeing in two direction. When you construct the axis, z axis, just to construct, imagine a z axis coming out of the screen. All the z axis, here z axis, here z axis, here. All the three z axis, all are parallel. So all the alpha I minus 1 should be 0 because all axes are parallel, right? Unless and until there is certain angle between these two axes, there will be a link twist. Otherwise, there will be not be any alpha I minus 1. For majority of cases, there will not be any alpha I minus 1 because there is no twist. There is no twist between these two axes. All axes are parallel. Right? ai minus 1. Let us talk about ai minus 1. In this case, ai minus 1 is for this first one. When we consider I is equal to 1. So ai minus 1 is 0. And when we talk about second, consider this one. When you go to this one, when you move it to this point, see, now we are at this point. When you move it to this point, so there is a length here. So what is the ai minus 1? ai minus 1 is nothing but the this distance between two z axis. Nothing but the distance between two z axis. Right? This two z axis, there is one z axis here, one z axis here. You measure the distance between two z axis, nothing but the link length. This is nothing but the link length. This is given as L1 here. For next one, this is called L2. So this one is L2 here. This is nothing but the link length. Next one is DI. Okay, what is the DI here? DI is the offset between two links. Here we need to understand one thing is when we talk about offset, it is the when two axes are in different plane here. So this is x axis and there is one more axis x here. Right? So when they are in different plane, then different plane means here see all the x axis in same plane. X here, x here, x here in the plane paper. Right? So if these two axes in different planes, so it is difficult to understand paper. You consider a 3D space. Suppose there is a box here and here there is a box here. This is the box here and this is the x-axis here. I attach one x-axis here. This is x here and I attach one more axis here. This is the x here, right? So this distance between these two axes is called offset, right? Because all this x is in one plane, there is no offset here. All these will be 0. Now when we talk about theta, the theta is when you reach point 1, there is angle here theta 1. Now again there is joint angle theta 2, theta 3. This is just simply the rotation of the link, right? So this matrix, once you know this matrix, what you need is this is called the Lennard-Hardenberg matrix. Right? What we need is just we need the information about this theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 link length, and we can calculate the transformation matrix. Thereby, we can calculate the final end orientation and position of end vector. This is number of examples here. Let us see how to calculate this matrices. Right? So we have this one matrix. Right? So here you can see T0. So we are just doing the rotation about the z-axis. Right? Z0 axis. So we have theta 0 here. Rotation is given, and other things are zero. There is no linear motion. However, when you talk about this one, when you reach a point 1, when you translate, there is a uh, translation here a0. So there is a rotation theta 1 and l0. A0 is the translation. Here you are having two things: rotation as well as translation. Then the second part you have a0 b2. So this is how you formulate the matrix, and then you calculate the transformation matrix. Once you calculate this transformation matrix, just multiply all and you get the position and orientation of the end effector. Okay, so just let me stop here. In the next lecture, we take an example of Puma 560 robot and we calculate the uh, position and orientation of end effector with respect in terms of joint values. Right? Again, we'll go through the DH convention quickly. Thank you, everyone.